Hello there, I'm Euthykis. I've been reading the news lately, so it's time for an awkwardly scripted video. Which means, yes, you're going to see me looking up at my script and scrolling through that instead of just looking directly at the camera, because I'm terrible at that, and I never know what I want to say. But let's see if the script can keep me from rambling, huh? So, naturally, the news is cat related, therefore, it is the most important news. In fun cases, I would probably just post a link in a written post, but this particular set of events has got me kind of worried, and I want to get a video out as soon as possible to kind of nip some misinformation early. So I'm going to mess up words too. Yay! My husband has assured me that no one cares, but I get worked up about things easily, and I've been meaning to make kind of a similar video to this anyway, so I'm going to include a lot of related links that I'm going to be referencing down in the description below, so you can go ahead and check those out if you feel up to diving down the same rabbit hole that I've been going down. Today, I woke up to a headline reporting the first death involving Alaska pox, which is loosely related to mad cow disease and a couple other things. The headline specifically links the disease to the stray cat the poor old fellow was taking care of. The actual article goes into detail, as the fellow was of an advanced age and he was taking cancer medications, which means his immune system was completely kaput, and, that made him susceptible to a large range of problems. So while his death was a tragedy, it could easily have been any illness to bring that end about, and it's kind of just chance that it was what it was that he caught. The article even specifically states that it is unclear how he contracted the virus and that it could be linked to the stray cat that he cared for, simply because he had a, quote, notable scratch near his armpit where the first symptom was noted. The cat was tested negative for the virus, so the assumption is that it was on the cat's claws after Kitty's hunting expedition. There have been 6 cases of the specific pox since the first case in 2015, and other than the aforementioned cancer patient, all these cases were mild and the individuals recovered without needing to be hospitalized. And what really got me worked up was at the end of that article was a line linking to another article, which read, and I quote, "The news comes as health officials in Oregon recently confirmed a rare case of human plague in a resident who was likely infected by their pet cat." What is this human plague that they're referencing? Why, the Black Death, the bubonic plague, of course. The article writers chose to rename the well-known disease because it was established in 1898 that the plague was and is spread by infected fleas. This is an intentionally fear-invoking title to compel readers to click another news article, which is a common thing for multiple media outlets to do, and can be potentially dangerous because not everyone has time to go diving into rabbit holes of information to get the full story. And that includes reading the next article. So, let me go ahead and sum that one up for you. They note that this case in Oregon is the first confirmed case of plague since 2015, and that the cat was also showing symptoms. The case was spotted early enough to be treated without incident, and there was zero spread involved. They go on with some sensational writing such as, "It may sound like something out of the history books, but this isn't the first time we've seen the disease in the U.S., And they go on to mention a single case in California back in 2020, that it hadn't been there since 2015, and that in the same year there were 2 fatal cases reported in Colorado. They do say that the bacterial infection is of little concern for the average person, since it is treatable. And then they go into the European history that everybody learned about in school, including the death rate and that it's spread by fleas. And to their credit, they go into detail about the most typical carriers of these fleas, but they do fail to mention the vast majority of flea species do not feed on humans. Other methods of transmission include wild carnivores consuming infected prey, and some cases seem to be transmitted through respiratory droplets when a sick animal coughs, much like some other viruses we've had problems with recently. They wrap up the article with symptoms of the plague, treatment, and prevention. Naturally, the best form of prevention is keeping your sweet pets indoors as much as possible and treating for fleas regularly. As it turns out, just about all the things that can be transmitted from your furry friends to you are easily avoidable by keeping up with regular vet visits, vaccinations, and staying up to date with flea preventatives. Things like cat scratch fever are easily avoided by making sure to wash up if you get scratched or bitten. And this is another bacteria that's carried by fleas. Somewhere around 30% of cats carry the specific bacteria in their blood without showing any signs of illness or symptoms. Though some cats can become very ill with rare cases of inflammation in the heart, urinary tract, mouth, or eyes, and sometimes other internal organs can be affected as well. Severe complications in people are extremely rare and tend to be limited to the very young or those with compromised immune systems. The most common cause of infections involving bites or scratches from domestic pets, and I'm sure to butcher how I pronounce this, is the bacteria called Pasteurella multicida, which is commonly found in birds as it's part of their respiratory microflora, microbiota, fancy scientific words there. There's going to be a link, don't worry. But it can cause a range of diseases in wild and domesticated animals. In birds, it can cause avian cholera and can also cause pneumonia in cattle. In humans, the infection shows up as inflamed soft tissue within 24 hours of contact. It can also cause your lymph nodes to swell, and in severe cases, it can cause a bloodstream infection. Patients with joint replacements may see secondary infections as well. All right, let's talk about toxoplasmosis for just a moment. You have probably heard about it in passing or seen vague warnings about it on packages of cat litter. What is it? Where does it come from? So, toxoplasmosis is the infection that is caused from a single-celled parasite. I was trying to say bacteria again, but this is a parasite called Toxoplasma gondii. More links provided. According to the CDC, more than 40 million people in the USA alone may be infected with this parasite and have no idea at all. Yay. Because, for the most part, people with healthy immune systems don't get sick. Your immune system, as it is, if you're a healthy individual, is more than enough to fight it off, just like the fight that's going on in the kitchen. That seems to be nothing. We're going to continue. Huzzah. Yeah, I just had to find my place. For those with compromised immune systems, including pregnant women, there's a higher rate of risk for illness and complications. It's also possible for a mother to pass the parasite on to her unborn child. That said, while most of the warnings that you're going to see will involve cat litter and handling cat poo, there are plenty of other ways to pick up this single-celled guest, which include, and yes, I'm going to be reading pretty much directly from the CDC verbatim here, eating undercooked, contaminated meat, especially pork, lamb, and venison, or shellfish. And this includes not washing your hands properly after handling raw meats, and cross-contamination from unwashed utensils or cutting boards. You can also get it from drinking contaminated water, accidentally eating contaminated soil. Wash your hands after you garden, yo! And you can also get it by receiving an infected organ transplant or blood transfusion, but that's pretty rare. So, in summary, all of these are very good reasons to keep your furry ones indoors. Stay up to date with all your vaccines and preventatives, especially for fleas. Keep your home area clean and free of things that will attract rodents, and above all else, follow basic food safety guidelines and wash your dang hands, people. Wash your hands. This has been an episode of me getting worked up over news. Thank you for tuning in, and take care.